live in interesting times. Today's stories. Turkey says it will monitor U.S. troops pullout from Syria. A German man confesses to a massive data hack spurred by annoyance. NGOs urge action as migrant ships await permission to port. Bologna fishermen react to boat thefts by people smugglers. Venezuelan Supreme Court judge denounces Maduro and flees to the United States. Plus, American Samoa's Fagatugu market showcases local culture. Hello everyone, I am Sarah Nachman bringing you stories from around the globe. And this is Eagle News, Washington, D.C. After a meeting with White House National Security Advisor John Bolton, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's spokesman Ibrahim Kalin says Ankara will examine in detail the withdrawal process of U.S. troops from Syria.
İlgili birimlerimiz konuyu, sahadaki çekilme süresini, mahiyetini, geride bırakılacak olan tabloyu detaylı bir şekilde ele almaya devam edecekler. Biz de mevkidaşlarımızla bu konuyu konuşmaya devam edeceğiz. Bu insanlara verilmiş silahlar var, ağır silahlar var, kurulmuş merkezler var. Bunların toplanması ve tamamen bertaraf edilmesi, yani PYD, YPG terör unsurlarının elinden alınarak nötralize edilmesi bizim temel beklentimizdir. Yani bunun dışında bir alternatifi zaten kabul etmemiz söz konusu değil. Ama dediğim gibi operasyon... Şimdi öncelikle şunu söyleyeyim, Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımızın Sayın Bolton'a teyitli bir randevu sözü yoktu. Böyle bir...
Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan on Tuesday condemned comments by a key U.S. envoy over the future of a U.S.-allied Syrian Kurdish militia as a, quote, grave mistake, as tensions flared over Washington's planned withdrawal from war-torn Syria. Erdogan's comments came shortly after U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton held talks in Turkish capital with Erdogan's advisor Ibrahim Kalin in a key meeting focusing on the surprise U.S. decision to withdraw its troops from Syria. But it was comments made by Bolton on Sunday in Israel that had already raised hackles in Ankara. As he suggested, the retreat was also conditional on the safety of U.S.-backed Kurdish fighters considered terrorists by Turkey. Erdogan told his party's lawmakers in parliament, John Bolton has made a grave mistake on this issue. U.S. President Donald Trump caused a political storm last month when he announced a troop pullout, claiming to have succeeded in the battle against the Islamic State group. Fighting continues, however, with Syrian Observatory for Human Rights saying IS suicide attackers had hit the U.S.-backed Syrian Democratic Forces in eastern Syria late on Sunday, killing 23 of its fighters. The pullout, which Washington has since stressed will be gradual, was hailed by Erdogan as the right call in a column published Tuesday in the New York Times. But it also raised concerns that Kurdish fighters would be exposed to the threat of a cross-border operation by Turkey. German authorities on Tuesday said a 20-year-old hacker had confessed to stealing and leaking private data from hundreds of politicians, including Chancellor Angela Merkel, because he was annoyed by some of their public statements. The young German, who lives with his parents, was taken into custody after police searched the family home in the western state of Hesse on Sunday. George Ungefek, a spokesman for the Frankfurt Prosecution Service's Internet Crime Office, ZIT, said the suspect was not remanded in custody, however, because he was fully cooperating with the inquiry and not deemed a flight risk.
Die Generalstaatsanwaltschaft Frankfurt am Main und das Bundeskriminalamt haben in den Abendstunden des 6.01.2019 die Wohnung eines Tatverdächtigen in Mittelhessen durchsucht und den Tatverdächtigen vorläufig festgenommen.
The suspect, who because of his young age falls under juvenile law in Germany, told police he acted alone. Ungefek added that the young man had shown clear remorse about the stunning cybersecurity breach which affected around 1,000 German politicians, journalists, and celebrities and piled political pressure on the government. The information leaked online compromised home addresses, mobile phone numbers, letters, invoices, and copies of identity documents. The data was first released via Twitter in December, but its spread gained pace last week. Among those hit were members of the Bundestag lower house of parliament and the European Parliament, as well as regional and local assemblies. Deputies from all parties represented in the Bundestag were targeted, with the exception of the far-right Alternative for Germany, or AfD, the largest opposition group in parliament. Speaking at the same press conference, the head of cybersecurity at Germany's Federal Police Office, BKA, Hykro Lur, said it was too soon to say whether the suspect was acting out of far-right sympathies, adding that police were also working to confirm whether the suspect did indeed work alone. He told reporters, "We are still investigating his motives and whether they have been criminal or politically motivated." Ongofek added investigators have seized computers and hard drives from the scene that were now being combed over by experts. He confirmed media reports that the suspect had tried to destroy a computer before the raid, but said investigators were still able to retrieve data from the damaged device. The boats of the two German NGOs, Sea-Watch and Sea-Eye, carrying 49 migrants, are still waiting for a safe port to land. The NGOs are urging action as migrants await news of their fate.
Wir wissen nicht, wie schnell die Situation sich verschlimmern wird. Das kann ganz schnell kippen. Ich meine, es wurde eben berichtet, wie gerade die mentale Situation der Menschen an Bord ist und jetzt im Prinzip gestrandet zu sein auf See, ohne zu wissen, was der nächste Tag bringt und ohne irgendeinen Einfluss noch oder irgendeine Kontrolle über das eigene Schicksal zu haben. Deshalb brauchen wir auch dringend jetzt eine Lösung. Und eine nachhaltige Lösung. Es kann nicht jedes Mal eine von Fall-zu-Fall-Entscheidung werden, sobald wir eine Rettung haben, sobald Menschen aus Seenot gerettet werden. Wir brauchen eine Entscheidung, die nachhaltig ist und wo die europäischen Staaten sich einigen, wo die Menschen hinkommen.
Up next, Balloon fishermen react to boat thefts by people smugglers. Venezuelan Supreme Court judge denounces Maduro and flees to the United States. Eagle News, Washington, D.C. will return in a moment. Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News, Washington, D.C. Fishermen in Boulogne-sur-Mer react to spate of boat thefts by people smugglers and migrants trying to reach Britain by crossing the world's busiest shipping lane.
Au jour d'aujourd'hui, il y a eu 2 bateaux qui ont été volés. Tout début de novembre, c'était le bateau l'Épervier qui a été volé, qu'ils ont réussi à aller à Douvres, ils se sont rendus à Douvres. Et puis là, le week-end juste avant les fêtes de Noël, il y a le deuxième bateau, c'était le Sainte-Catherine, qui a été lui aussi volé par les migrants, mais ils n'ont pas pu aller très loin puisqu'ils n'ont pas mis en œuvre ce qu'il fallait pour refroidir le moteur, c'est-à-dire que le moteur a cassé. Voilà. Et suite à ça, ça a démarré au réveillon de Noël. Il y a eu là à peu près une quinzaine de bateaux qui ont été vandalisés. C'est-à-dire, donc aujourd'hui, au départ, c'était de l'inquiétude. Quand le bateau l'Épervier s'est fait voler, on s'est posé des questions, on a dit, oh, attention, il va falloir être vigilant. Et puis là, maintenant, c'est plus de l'inquiétude parce que ça s'est accentué à une vitesse grand V. Et maintenant, il y a de la crainte et aussi de la colère parce qu'il faut impérativement qu'aujourd'hui, nos bateaux, c'est des entreprises. Il y a des familles qui en vivent. Et donc, il faut qu'aujourd'hui, ça soit vraiment sécurisé de manière à ce qu'il n'y arrive plus ce cas de figure qui vient de se produire pendant les fêtes de fin d'année.
Ma porte de passerelle était fracturée, la charnière tout cassée, les poignées, le carreau ainsi que le carreau aussi fissuré, tout cassé. Et aussi quand je suis rentré à la passerelle, mon compteur du moteur était tout arraché avec mon Yéman, mes fils coupés, tout ainsi pour démarrer. Ils avaient laissé les câbles, les migrants avaient laissé les câbles électriques dénudés pour démarrer le moteur, avaient tout laissé dedans dans la passerelle.
En fait, cette réunion avait pour but de mettre l'ensemble des acteurs concernés par cette problématique autour de la table pour mettre une succession de mesures pour faire en sorte que le vol des embarcations soit le plus difficile et réussir à faire échouer ces tentatives de vol.
A British Navy ship was patrolling the channel on Friday in response to a wave of mostly Iranian asylum seekers risking the crossing from France in dinghies. HMS Mercy is filling the gap until two border force cutters return from the European Union's Mediterranean migrant crossings mission. Her Majesty's ship Mercy, an offshore patrol vessel with a crew of around 45, left the Channel port of Portsmouth on Thursday. Attempts to get to Britain by crossing the world's busiest shipping lane in tiny craft have surged in the last 3 months, with the numbers spiking over the holidays. Britain's Defense Secretary Gavin Williamson said, HMS Mercy will deploy to the Dover Straits to assist the UK border force and French authorities with their response to migrant crossings. The crew have been able to immediately divert from routine operations to help prevent migrants from making the dangerous journey across the channel. The Home Office Interior Ministry said the Navy ship will help keep the UK border secure and prevent loss of life. 2 coastal patrol vessels and 2 border force cutters are already deployed in the channel. Any migrants found in British waters are taken to a UK port. Britain will keep 1 cutter on the EU Mediterranean mission and bring 2 back, Protector, which is anchored at the Greek island of Lesbos, and Seeker, which is docked in the overseas territory of Gibraltar. Meanwhile, detectives are continuing to question 2 men arrested on suspicion of arranging the illegal movement of migrants into Britain. A 33-year-old Iranian national and a 24-year-old British man arrested in Manchester on Wednesday remain in police custody. Some 539 people crossed the Dover Straits, the channel's narrowest part at 21 miles wide. In 2018, 80% making the journey in the last 3 months. Home Secretary Sajid Javid said Wednesday almost all those who have made it to Britain have requested asylum, but he questioned whether some who had left the safety of France could be a genuine asylum seeker.
Venezuelan Supreme Court Judge Christian Zerpa explains his reason for fleeing Nicolas Maduro's government.
Sí, he decidido conjuntamente con mi familia salir de Venezuela para desconocer de una u otra forma el gobierno de Nicolás Maduro, quien pretende. El presidente Nicolás Maduro no se merece una segunda oportunidad por cuanto la elección de la cual él supuestamente salió electo no fue una elección libre, no fue una elección competitiva.
American Samoa's Fagatugu Market showcases local culture. That's next. Eagle News Washington, D.C. will return shortly. This is Eagle News Washington, D.C. I am Sarah Nackman. Eagle News correspondent Ariane Torres Suan takes us to Fagatugu Market, where you can take your family and friends to enjoy some live music, handicrafts, and, of course, some of the island's favorite food. Let's take a look.
American Samoa is a U.S. territory covering 7 South Pacific islands and atolls. Tutuila is the largest island and it's home to the capital of Pago Pago. Today, I am going to take you to the market of American Samoa. You can see the different types of staple food that the Samoans really love to eat, like Samoan taro, bananas, sweet potatoes, taro, coconuts, and even this cocoa fruit. They use it to make a coco samoa for their coco elisa, or in Tagalog, champorado. Inside the market, they also sell politasi, their traditional clothes worn by girls. This headdress is called palefuyoono, which they wear during special events for Siva Samoa or dance. But once you get hungry, don't worry. There are food shops inside the market where you can buy drinks and food like this pancake or Samoan pancake. The ingredients are flour, baking powder, sugar, and water. And sometimes they add mashed bananas to make it more scrumptious.
So be sure to put American Samoa in your list of favorite places to visit this year and check out Fangatongo Market. Reporting from Pango in American Samoa, this is Arian Torres, Suwan, 1 with 25.
Thank you. That is today's Eagle News Washington, D.C. Join us again tomorrow as we bring stories that matter to you. Visit our website at Eaglenews.PH, like us on Facebook, also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/EagleNewsPH. On behalf of Eagle News Washington, D.C., thank you for watching. I am Sarah Nackman and I am 1 with 25.